What is happening? Why is this so messed up? What is going on right now? I'm dying inside. I'm dying. Like, this is absolutely brutal. What is happening with all these games? It is killing me. It's killing me. We had another game cancel. We had the Patriots and Broncos cancel, and I'm trying to run around on my 300 different leagues that I'm in and fix all my rosters, but I'm afraid that, now we have the Titans going to miss out as well. We got all sorts of stuff going on. And then the IR, like everybody is on my IR. I know there's some other people out there that are dealing with the same issues that I'm dealing with, but damn, man, I got to sit here and do a fantasy show while my fantasy teams are suffering. This is brutal. God, welcome on into Fantasy Intervention, guys. Welcome on in. We got to start our sit thread. So go ahead and start getting those questions lined up. If you want your face to be seen, such as this individual, you have to go and actually get your account approved by StreamYard. So we are going to start out, guys, before we answer the start sit, we are going to start out with the injury report. And for that, I've got the real Adam H on me. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, man. Happy to be here. Yeah, we've got a crazy week, but hopefully we can get those lineups set up and help people win their fantasy matchups this week.
Are you freaking out as much as I am? You seem pretty calm.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. I had already mentally prepared myself this year that it was going to be a mess, and I think people
do yoga.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it is what it is. It's fantasy football. After week 3, I think we all thought like this wasn't going to happen. I always had this in the back of my mind that this was going to be a possibility. So it is what it is, man. It's a crazy game. It's a lot of luck, and this is just another component that we're going to have to get used to this year.
I don't want to, man. I don't want it. This is stressful. This is stressful for me. All right, so let's go ahead and hop through this injury report because I know we are going to have a lot of starter sit questions come in. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start out with the injury report. And you actually sent this over to me, so I'm curious. I don't know what to expect. But we have Sam Darnold with an AC joint sprain, which you said could be multi-week injury. We have Deshaun Jackson, hamstring. He's out, right?
Yep. And I just saw that Julio Jones was added to he's officially out with a hamstring injury.
Is he? So Calvin Ridley is a must play, and Russell Gage is probably played too, guys. All right, so Raheem Mostert. I want to know about him because I'm nervous. Like, I have Jerick McKinnon everywhere, and I'm like, do I play Jerick McKinnon? Do I not play Jerick McKinnon? I also have some shares of Jeff Wilson. So do I play Jeff Wilson? What are you thinking?
So, and the first thing I want to is, if people haven't heard already, the Broncos-Patriots game is officially postponed. It's going to be moved to next week. So if you got any Patriots or you got any Broncos in your lineups, get those guys out of there for sure. Switching over to Raheem Mostert. Yep, expected to play. With the MCL sprain, I think people kind of freak out about those knee ligament injuries. It's probably one of, you never want to have a knee injury, but it's probably one of the better injuries to have. I would expect him to have a brace on that knee. It should give him some stability that he's kind of lacking from that MCL injury. I think Raheem Mostert is a flex play this week. I think Jerick McKinnon is still a flex play this week. I think the one that hurts the most is Jeff Wilson. I would probably take Jeff Wilson out of my lineup with this Raheem Mostert news.
Damn it. Yeah, I know. It was a tough play anyways, but I liked it. All right, let's go ahead and hop on to the next guy that I was curious about, and that was Henry Ruggs, right?
Yep.
I liked Henry Ruggs going in this week, but he still had the questionable tag. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. So tell me about that.
So the report I saw earlier this week that was kind of up in the air, I just saw breaking news this morning that he is going to play against the Chiefs. I think people are excited about Henry Ruggs playing the Chiefs. Should be a high-scoring matchup. Coming off of that hamstring injury, especially what Henry Ruggs does as a field stretcher, he's somebody that I would probably try to avoid. I know that's tough. A lot, like we said, we talked about the Patriots and the Broncos not playing. There's some uncertainties about the Titans-Bills games. So I understand if you got to put.
Did we lose you? Or did
I was expecting to have a high snap share. What's up?
Nothing. Sorry, I somehow got lost in the chat. But yeah, you said you expect what? Henry Ruggs to not have a high snap share?
Have a high snap share. He's kind of a risky play this week. I would try to go elsewhere if I could.
All right, let's go ahead and answer one of these start-sit questions real quick in between the injuries, so we can kind of make sure that these people are getting taken care of. Le'Veon Bell or Jarvis Landry as a flex option. I'm not touching Le'Veon Bell, but Jarvis Landry does have a really tough matchup. I might be looking somewhere completely else in this matchup. What do you think?
Yeah. If I had to pick one.
Oh, looks like we're losing Adam a little bit.
That hamstring has had some.
Hey, you froze on us again. What was that? Jarvis Landry or Le'Veon Bell?
I would pick Bell.
Bell? All right.
Yep.
Split decision once again. All right, let's go ahead and hop on to the next injury now. We've got Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, and Mark Andrews. I'm pretty sure they're all are playing, but Mark Andrews had something with his thigh, right? Marquise Brown wasn't doing too hot, and Lamar Jackson popped up like midweek, right?
Yeah, I would expect them all they all are playing, and I would expect them to kind of function at full capacity like they have been. If I have these guys, I'm not too worried about it. I'm playing them.
All right, I like it. Let's go on to the next guy. What you just talked about, Le'Veon Bell, right? He got activated from IR, and you actually like him this week, although he is dealing with the hamstring injury.
Yeah, he had a couple weeks let that hamstring injury heal up on IR. No one likes to play Jets, and Joe Flacco is probably going to be the quarterback this week. Given the limited options, I think he's startable. He's a running back in a PPR format league where he could have a decent amount of targets this week.
Yeah, I guess I don't hate Le'Veon Bell as much as I come off to, but I don't like playing him. Like, it's just not my favorite option coming off an injury. All right, especially with that offensive line, but it is the Cardinals,
for sure.
So you might get some passing attempts now. Oh man, AJ Brown, it's already a double negative. Like, you have the potential to miss the game, and now you have the knee injury. He did get a practice in on Saturday. What's going on over there?
So AJ Brown, for those that forgot, he had that knee injury similar to George Kittle, the bone bruise. We obviously saw the big week that George Kittle had last week.
Yeah, so he Adam,
I would be surprised if AJ Brown didn't play this week. I would expect AJ Brown to come in and play this week. So even though it is risky given the matchup, I think he's somebody that I would play.
I like it. I like it, but I don't love it. And I'm actually not going to be playing AJ Brown this week in the Scott Fish Bowl. I'm just too nervous about the whole situation. If it was just the injury, I wouldn't care. But the whole dude, I'm scared, man. That COVID thing, I'm scared. Like,
that's fair.
They could force to forfeit. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios. I'm just hoping to find out before 1 o'clock hits. And if, by the way, if they do say that they're definitely going to play, I might end up sliding him in there. But all right, let's go ahead and answer a Facebook user's question. Pick one: Sanders, McKinnon, and PPR. With you telling me that Raheem Mostert's back in, I don't know that I love McKinnon, but Sanders has a tough matchup. Now, the cool thing is that Sanders' hometown is actually Pittsburgh. And so it's not like it's one of these like false narratives, but I like these false narratives sometimes because they do come to fruition. And honestly, I don't think that the Eagles can do much else. I don't think they're going to be able to really pass on the Steelers as much. And I know their run defense is really tough as well, but they have not been using Sanders in the right way. And I think that Wentz is getting frustrated back in there in the pocket. I think that they could use him to take some pressure off. I'm actually going to lean Sanders by a hair over McKinnon just because Mostert's in.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is a game where Sanders could see like 10 targets, right? Just dump offs during garbage time. Eagles aren't very good. They don't have a lot of receiving options. So I like that call. Yeah,
that's the exact same, mindset that I have when it comes to the game itself. All right, Michael Thomas, are you playing him with that high ankle sprain?
It's hard not to. I'm nervous. I would manage expectations. I'm not expecting the old Michael Thomas, but it's the Saints. And like I said, we've said a couple times here, there's a lot of games that are kind of up in the air and a lot of injuries that if you got Michael Thomas, I think you got to play him.
Oh, man. That's so tough for me to like sit there and get on that bandwagon, especially against the Chargers, who've been really, really good up against the wide receiver. I'm actually going to sit Thomas this week and wait, one more week to make sure there's actual production. We saw both Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara last year both struggle coming back from the high ankle sprain too early, and I think that could happen again with Michael Thomas. He might just be out there as a decoy this week.
That's fair.
All right, Zach Moss, turf toe.
I think he's going to play. So if you're somebody that needs somebody in like a flex position, I'm okay playing Zach Moss. I think he was close to playing last week, and he was just kind of a late scratch.
Yeah, he still makes me nervous, just like the whole AJ Brown thing does, because there's two different ways that he can miss the game. All right, John Brown and the calf.
I don't know what to do with John Brown. He's kind of killing me this year. You talked about your Scott Fishbowl team. I've got John Brown and Scott Fishbowl, and I was planning on using like Cam Newton if he was going to play, but with that game being postponed, I was looking for some other options. So I grabbed Gabriel Davis in that league as like a backup. I don't know if you can do that in your league. There's probably a decent chance that Gabriel Davis is out there in case John Brown doesn't play on Tuesday. I know that doesn't give you a lot of information about John Brown. I saw the video where he kind of re-injured his calf. He's been dealing with this for a while. For those of you that don't know, John Brown has sickle cell anemia, which kind of affects his tissue quality and his healing rate. So that's something that could potentially linger for John Brown. And I don't feel great about him this week, if I'm being honest.
That's actually really good to know. Didn't realize that about the tissue quality.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and answer another starter stick question real quick. Devonta Freeman, yes, we know he plays for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Or Dearness Johnson, PPR league. I hate Devonta Freeman. I don't understand why he was picked up on waivers. I'm leaning Dearness Johnson. They just have a better run game over there, and he's going to be involved. They use two running backs. Stefanski always has. You know, even though Dalvin Cook saw the majority of work, there are still certain weeks where you saw Alexander Madison get in, Mike Boone get in. I think this could be one of those weeks over there for Cleveland. I'm going Dearness Johnson way over Devonta Freeman.
I am right with you there. We're in lockstep. I don't want anything to do with the Giants' backfield, honestly. And the Browns can run the ball, so why not just throw Dearness out there?
I like it. All right, hopping over to the next injury. Mike Williams with a hamstring. He's practicing, plays Monday. What's up with Mike Williams?
Yeah, this one, I think there's about a 50-50 shot. He is practicing. He's somebody that I think, just off the top of my head, looking at some of his injuries, I feel like it's taken him a little bit longer to recover for some injuries from time to time. It's a 50-50 split. I mean, it just really depends on what you have. I think there's a decent chance that we roll around on Monday and he's not ready. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Do we have any news on Marshawn Lattimore or Janoris Jenkins yet?
I have not seen any news on those guys.
Yeah, I mean, if Jenkins plays, I actually kind of like him because, you know, Jenkins is that deep threat defensive back. And that guy's only 5'7". Meanwhile, you have Mike Williams as a bigger option. You can just, you know, target him up high on that back shoulder fade. Mm-hmm. But if he's out, I kind of like him a little bit less. I don't like Mike Williams that much this week, and I would only play him if it's necessary, like if you absolutely have to play him. All right, let's go ahead and answer this question. Looking for big upside, my flex are Edmonds and Malcolm Brown. In a deep league, who would suggest of a waiver to have a big game today? Man, all my waivers are like super, super deep leagues. I'm only in one random league, and I don't have that one up. So do you have anybody off the top of your head that is a good waiver wire pickup for the flex position?
I can't think of anybody like off the top of my head.
I doubt Darius Slayton's out there, but if he's out there, he's probably a great play.
Yeah.
It's tough just because like we don't, you know, we got to figure out what size league you're in. And like I said, with most of my leagues, I'm in, you know, 12 team or more leagues. You know, I have a couple 16 team leagues, some 14 team leagues. I don't have any less than 12. So it's going to be tough knowing those guys and who's going to be out there. Sorry, I couldn't really help you out on that one.
I mean, I think I'm looking at some of my waiver wires. So like Dontrell Inman might be a play. Steve Sims is on IR for Washington. You know, they're making a quarterback change. It can only get better. I think it can't get worse now that Dwayne Haskins is in the QB. He's somebody that should be out there in available leagues. Another one that I'm looking at, depending on if Mike Williams doesn't play, is Jalen Guyton. He was a big play guy for the Chargers. Should be number 2 wide receiver. Those are 2 decent options, I think, depending on your league size.
If you're trying to find somebody over Edmonds or Malcolm Brown, I don't think there is a guy.
I don't think so either.
I think that Edmonds is probably a lock, to be that guy to go to this week. We've seen him start to eat into Kenyon Drake's touches. There's a ton of upside with this Arizona Cardinals offense. I have a lot of DFS plays with Edmonds in it because I really like that upside. Meanwhile, Malcolm Brown, touchdown dependent type player. I don't hate him, but I'd probably go Edmonds. Or both if you're playing both. All right, PPR Higgins versus Baltimore. Or Crowder or Hardman. Yeah.
Crowder okay.
Crowder has a really tough matchup. Hardman has a lot easier matchup up against the Raiders. And Higgins, I don't know what to expect. I know that he's been leading the team. I'm going Hardman on this one, especially if you need upside.
I'm going to rank them Crowder, Higgins, Hardman. I'm actually going to put Hardman last. He doesn't play enough for me to feel confident about using him. Obviously, it takes one play for Hardman to bust off, but I think Crowder has a safer floor. I think T. Higgins could potentially just get some garbage time work because the Bengals are going to have to play catch up most of that game, and I just don't feel great. I don't feel great about Hardman.
Yeah, that's a bunch of tough options, but if you're looking at that, you're probably in a deeper league or you're dealing with some injuries. So, if you need upside, go Hardman. I think if you need floor, go Crowder. Agree with that?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Half point PPR. Tyler Boyd, Terry McLaurin, Crowder, Robert Woods, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute lock. I think Tyler Boyd is most likely a lock too, playing out of the slot. They allow a lot of those slot guys to go off over there in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So Terry McLaurin, Crowder, Robert Woods. Robert Woods actually has a tougher matchup than what meets the eye. Washington's actually been pretty overall solid in the secondary. And it could actually be a decent matchup against the Rams. Meanwhile, McLaurin probably going to get shadow coverage from Ramsey, and Ramsey's been hit or miss a lot this year, but more often hit than not. And then Crowder, like we just talked about, has a decent floor. I'm probably going to go with probably Terry McLaurin for garbage time points.
Okay, that's fair. I'm a big proponent of like playing your studs, and I think Robert Woods is a safer option. I've seen more from him. Only thing that scares me about McLaurin, I mean, it could be good, it could be good, or it could be bad with Kyle Allen. We haven't seen it, so I'm leaning Woods, but McLaurin's close for me there.
But the thing with Kyle Allen is last year with DJ Moore, who plays almost the identical role to Terry McLaurin, like their snap percentages are almost identical for slot, for where they're lining up on the field. In 13 games last year, DJ Moore still had 1,034 yards and 4 touchdowns in 13 games. With like 76 receptions or something like that. Obviously don't have the numbers in front of me. That's off the cuff, but it's something very, very close to that. So he's still he was still a productive wide receiver while Kyle Allen was there. But he did have boom or bust weeks. So this could be one of those weeks, that you were kind of talking about. All right, close out our injury report before we just go to pure starter sit questions. Yep. Jimmy Garoppolo is back, right? You feel good about Jimmy?
Yeah, the high ankle sprain for a quarterback isn't usually as limiting. So if you're in a super flex league, 2 QB league, maybe even a 1 QB league, and you're just really thin at waiver wire, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of sneaky play against Miami this week because I would expect him to be okay to go.
Okay, you want to hop on to the next guy?
Yeah. So the other two that are you talking about on this injury report here?
Yep.
Yeah. So the last couple guys I want to talk about here, Cam Akers has a rib injury, should be good to go. If I have Cam Akers, I think it's potentially going to be, a 3-headed monster there in that backfield, but I think Cam Akers is the best back. If you're looking for somebody as a sneaky flex play and you've been stashing them on your roster, I think Cam Akers you can play this week. Deebo Samuel, I saw that we have a couple questions about Deebo Samuel. I'm sitting Deebo Samuel pretty much in all formats. Except the deepest of leagues where I don't have any other options. Jones fracture, he's coming off that injury. I would expect his snap share to increase a little bit. I tweeted about this week. He was only on the field for 30% of the 49ers like passing plays. He had a higher snap share around 40%, but on passing plays, he was only on the field for 30%. That's not good. I don't want to play a guy that's not going to have that volume there. So I'm trying to fade Deebo Samuel where I can.
Sorry, I was muted. No, so we have Chenault or Debo following up with that question. Half point PPR. So right after that, we had Bo McBig Time coming up and saying big Visca energy. So yeah, I'm leaning Visca over that one too.
Bo knows what's up. It's all about Visca, baby.
I do like Debo's big play potential though. I really do.
I do. I'm about a week or two away from feeling confident about Debo Samuel. I need to see more.
All right, let's go McKinnon Gurley or Singletary at the flex PPR. Gurley for me is an absolute lock this week. He has an amazing matchup. There's a good chance with Julio Jones being out, with Calvin Ridley being dinged up, that they're going to utilize Gurley in the running game and in the receiving game as well up against Carolina Panthers, who have been pretty bad overall at defending up against the running back. Meanwhile, they've been very, very solid up against the tight end and the wide receivers. So I'm not saying that Calvin Ridley's a sit or anything like that, but I think that Gurley could have one of those 2 touchdown, 120-yard games this week.
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask about Todd Gurley. I haven't been super impressed with his play. I think unless he scores those touchdowns, you're going to be disappointed with Todd Gurley. I like McKinnon. I'm a really big McKinnon fan. I've liked what I've seen this year, and I know we talked about Mostert being back, but I think McKinnon has a role in that offense as like a receiving running back for them. So I'm a big McKinnon fan, but I'd be okay starting Gurley. To me, Gurley's touchdown dependent. Like unless you're going to get those touchdowns from him, I think you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I hear that. So the question before that was the Chenault or Debo with half point PPR to replace Diggs with the uncertainty. Adam's all over saying that he thinks that they're definitely going to play. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm shaking. I'm like, I don't know if I want to play that. So I can understand why you'd want to pull Diggs out. But would you play Diggs over Chenault or Debo with this situation going
on? That's a good question.
Do you feel safe enough with Chenault?
I think Chenault is like a sneaky DFS play this week, but there's a big week coming, but I don't know when it's going to come. I would probably play Diggs. Yeah,
he's super high on that. I'm not as high, but we'll see what happens. I'm just nervous. I'm probably just being a little bitch, but it is what it is. All right. Can we acknowledge Jarvis Landry might be the Browns' next QB? Dude.
Maybe.
I think of it last week because that was a gorgeous throw from Landry over to Beckham. But yeah. All right. What's up, Kim? I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been, Kim? All right. PPR, Ayuk or Slayton? I'm going Slayton in this one. I think Slayton's gonna have a smash week.
I thought you were gonna say Ayuk. I'm going Ayuk. I love Brandon Ayuk.
He's just a gadget player right now. He's not getting the volume.
I'm slowly like developing this love for Brandon Ayuk, and I don't know.
You just liked him hurdling guys.
I do. It got me. It was mesmerizing.
Now, Slayton's getting the volume, and he's getting the premium targets. I'm definitely going Slayton on this one, especially up against the Dallas Cowboys defense that looks like Swiss cheese over there. All right. Non-PPR 12 team, Ingram or Ebron. Ingram, once again, is suited up for a big week, but him and Daniel Jones have not been on the same page. Meanwhile, Ebron seems like everybody's sweetheart. Everybody's talking about Ebron this week, and, I like Ebron, but I don't get the hype, man. I mean, his inability to grip that football and snag a football there is just, baffling to me. So I think I'm going to go Ingram again. I think that both him and Slayton could end up having, 1 touchdown performances while Ingram has 60 or 70 yards and Slayton has over 100. Meanwhile, we don't know what are the wide receivers on the other side, Ratley and somebody else. And then we have, Golden Tate in the slot. But the Cowboys have actually been pretty good up against the slot receivers so far this year to an extent. Not great, pretty good. So I'm going to go both. I think you can start both Ebron and Slayton.
Yeah. I am not a big Evan Ingram fan, and if people follow me on Twitter or listen on the show, like I've pretty much been disparaging of Evan Ingram, and I'd play him this week against Dallas, but if he doesn't do it this week, man, I'm done with Evan Ingram. This is the prime time
good,
matchup.
But so bad at the same time. He's very similar to Ebron in that way. Very similar to Ebron. They're kind of like in the same career trajectory too. All right, Cooper Kupp or Robbie Anderson. So I think this is going to be a DJ Moore week. I really do. And
Thank you for saying that.
Cooper Kupp actually has a really, really tough matchup up against Washington, believe it or not. I like Cooper Kupp, though, I think, over Robbie Anderson, but it's just by a hair. If you play Robbie Anderson, I don't think that you're necessarily making a bad play.
Yeah, I'm playing Cooper Kupp. I agree with you.
Okay. PPR, by the way, yeah. If it's PPR, that's locked in. PPR, lock it in with Cooper Kupp because we don't know if Robbie Anderson's going to see 10, 15 targets again this week. All right, and he's projected to win by 3. Cooper Kupp's a safe play. All right, would you start McKinnon, Crowder, or DJ Moore in PPR? Oh, what?
No, I would not. Would you start McKinnon, Crowder? Oh, I thought that was over DJ Moore.
No. You're playing DJ Moore this week. You're playing DJ Moore.
Yes.
All right, Devonta Freeman, Zach Pascal, and Le'Veon Bell, full PPR league, and you gotta sit one. Zach Pascal's a sneaky play this week, but I'm sitting Devonta Freeman. That's my sit.
Yep, same here.
Flying through them now. All right, need to pick 3. Oh man, PPR. Ridley is a lock for me this week. Shark is what kind of league is this? You just melting faces over there? Yeah, Ridley, Shark, and CeeDee Lamb for me. Although Joshua Kelly is tempting.
Yeah, I'd probably go Ridley, Shark, and CeeDee Lamb
against the Giants. I mean, that's too sweet of a matchup. But Ridley and Shark are my 2 locks. CeeDee Lamb, could be interchangeable with Joshua Kelly. I'm not going to play OBJ until I see it another week. I think that these weeks could be very sporadic. So I'm going to hold off on that. Jefferson or Lamb PPR. Oh, this is a good one. This is the best one so far. Justin Jefferson has who do they play this week? It's a terrible pass defense. Where is it? Sorry, I'm having a little bit of brain fart.
No, you're good. I don't even remember.
Oh, I'm on week 6. That's why.
I'm going to pick Lamb. I don't even care who Jefferson's playing. I'm a big CeeDee Lamb fan, and I like what he's doing. And Dallas, that offense is always throwing the ball. But Seattle is who Minnesota has.
Oh, yeah, that's a great matchup. And, I mean, dude, they're going to have to pass, right? Right? Seattle's actually really good up against the running back in both the run game and the pass game. They're allowing like less than 5 yards per reception to the running back position. It's insane how great that run defense has been and just the play up against the running back as a whole. Justin Jefferson is going to have some play. If you need upside, I'm going Jefferson. I think if you need floor, I might go Lamb. That's where I'm at. If you need upside, if you need to win, you need some extra points, Jefferson, if you're projected to lose. All right, Zach Ertz or Jonnu Smith. I think Zach Ertz is a lock for me this week. And the fact that Jonnu Smith might not play, I'm going Zach Ertz.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Parker, Tyler Boyd. CeeDee? I think I'm going CeeDee slightly over Tyler Boyd.
I kind of like Tyler Boyd this week. I have a couple of our contrarian DFS lineups where I sneak Tyler Boyd in there because it's got Bengals versus Ravens, but that garbage time where he could easily see like 10 or 12 targets in this game and just get a ton of receptions.
And Marcus Peters on the outside has been, pretty solid overall this year. People are doing work up against the slot, but I'm still going to go with the safer pick, who also has upside as well, and go with CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how much garbage time Tyler Boyd is going to accumulate over there, especially with Higgins, with Drew Sample, people taking away targets from him. All right, rest of the season, Shenault or Ayuk?
Rest of season.
Ooh, that one's a little closer for me, but I'm going Shenault. He's on pace to have 100 touches this season.
I feel like Kim is testing my Ayuk love. She wants to see how invested I am in Brandon Ayuk. Oh man, I'm going Ayuk. You can disagree with me. That's fine. I love Ayuk. I love what he's doing.
You just don't know when you can play him. That's my biggest issue. That's almost like a roster clog. Like, do you feel safe rolling him out every week until he actually produces on a higher level? Meanwhile, Shenault, you feel great with his floor and you feel even better with his upside. And his matchups really don't matter because you don't know where they're going to use him. But you know that he's going to touch it. All right, Gibson, Bell, or OBJ 0.5 PPR. I love Gibson this week. I am not able to gamble in this area, but I wanted to go put out a prop bet. And yeah, it was Gibson over under 23.5 yards for only negative 114 points on that. So yeah, he's going to have over 23.5 receiving yards this week. The Rams have not allowed a running back to have less than 27 receiving yards so far on the season. So he's going to smash.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm good with Gibson.
Yeah, he's going to have probably 10 receptions this game. All right, pick one. Terry, Lamb, Parker, PPR have Moore and Ridley as a lock. That's a great upside play with Moore and Ridley. I want to lane Lamb again. I think Lamb is just slightly over Terry McLaurin this week just because I don't trust Terry McLaurin up with a new quarterback like we've talked about. Although I do think he's going to produce, and of course a tough matchup up against Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I've been picking Lamb a lot in this, and I want to note, like, I think there's a possibility, like, the floor falls for Lamb. Like, if Gallup heats up, they have so many weapons in that offense. Like, it could be Gallup's week 1 week or Cooper's week 1 week, or they could just feed Zeke all 1 week and Lamb kind of bottoms out. But he's riding this hot streak. I would keep playing CeeDee Lamb where I have him.
I like that. All right, PPR Ward, Chris Thompson, Zacchaeus, Gaskin, or Henderson. This one's tough. I'm going to go Ward.
I'm playing a lot of Zacchaeus this week with Julio Jones out. I think he played really well in that one game where Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones were battling injuries. I think there's a possibility he ate Russell Gage's lunch and he's going to be taking that role going forward. So I'm a big
Russell Gage has been very good. And Zacchaeus is more of a gadget player by the way. He's more of a gadget guy. I can see it. And he's probably going to take over the slot role this week while Russell Gage slides to the outside. Juju or Slayton, I'm guessing is what he meant. I love Juju Smith-Schuster, but I also love Slayton this week. However, Juju out of the slot with Darius Slay most likely probably covering Deontay Johnson. I'm probably going to lean Juju Smith-Schuster on this one. They're probably going to keep Juju as far away from Slayton as possible. I think that he's going to have a good amount of volume, and although Slayton's upside is higher, I think that Juju could still have a 2-touchdown, 75-yard game.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I like playing Juju this week.
All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to finish up a few of these questions, guys. We're going to get out of here within the next 10 minutes or so we can go prep our lineups, and I can stop freaking out. All right, if A.J. Brown, game canceled, Ingram or Cooks? I don't trust Cooks, but there is a ton of upside over there up against Jacksonville. However, if C.J. Henderson ends up matching up against Cooks, which I kind of expect because C.J. Henderson will not travel to the slot, and Will Fuller tends to do that about 30-something% of the time. That could leave Henderson just trying to focus on stopping the deep ball with Brandon Cooks, which is what C.J. Henderson does. Extremely athletic, fast guy. So yeah, I'm going to go with Ingram on this one. Although I don't really love either matchup, I'm going Ingram. Yeah,
I agree with the Ingram call. They like him there in Baltimore.
They do, man. And although he saw the least amount of snaps of anybody on his team last week, I think it was more of like a rest week type thing. All right, on to Hines, McKissick, Malcolm Brown. I need an RB flax. So I don't know what a flax is, but I'm going to just assume that he meant flax. I'm going to go – God, this is a bad one, man. I think I'm going to lean Malcolm Brown just because his volume might be there compared to the other two guys, but I don't hate Hines. McKissick, yeah, I think Antonio Gibson proved he's going to be the guy going forward.
Yeah, in all my flax leagues, it's Hines. You get that extra. he gets you that flax points, so I'm leaning Hines in all my flax leagues.
I like that flax observation. All right, we're going to God, we're dumb. All right, we're going to pick 2: Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper Kupp. This is a tight one. Good job drafting, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to go CD as my lock, and I'm going to slightly go Cooper Kupp over Terry McLaurin.
Yes, I agree with that.
All right. PPR, Mixon, Baltimore, McKinnon versus Miami. I don't like this.
I don't like it either.
I mean, I kind of do, but I don't, just for Raheem Mostert now throws a whole, cog into it. Is that what it's called, a cog? Something, or is it a something into a cog?
He threw a flax. It was a flax into the cob.
He threw a flax into a cob.
Yeah. I'm going Mixon. I don't feel great about it though, and you can get mad at me, Facebook user, if I'm wrong. But I'm probably going to play Mixon.
I mean, Mixon should have the volume. I'll go Mixon. A wrench in the cog. Thank you, David Anthony. Well, he said wrench, and I'm pretty sure it's a wrench in the cog. All right.
There you go.
Ertz or Hunter Henry? I'm going to lean. Hunter Henry has a sick matchup this week, but Ertz is just going to be too volume, reliant. Right?
Yeah. Philly's got problems at wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson's out, so give me some Zach Ertz.
All right, Jefferson or McLaurin, Gurley or Kelly? I'm going Gurley over Kelly, and that's a lock. and I'm slightly going Jefferson over McLaurin. But if you need, if you're pretty much guaranteed to win, I probably might actually lean McLaurin over Jefferson. But if you need the upside, Jefferson could have another huge week this week, up against that poor Seahawks defense. So I think it really is just dependent on what you're looking for, upside versus floor. All right, would you start? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Okay. Would you start OBJ this week against Indianapolis over Pascal? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Just because you don't know what you're going to get out of Pascal.
It's going to be close, but yeah, I probably would. OBJ should have at least 60 or so receiving yards minimum. That's his floor. Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson at the flex, full PPR. Cheers, my friend, whoever you are. I like Antonio Gibson this week. I think he's going to smash faces with his receiving game work, not even with his running game work. There's a possibility we see him 7 to 10 receptions this week.
Yeah. I'm going to die on the Jonathan Taylor hill, and I know he doesn't look good, and the Colts are using Wilkins in some packages, but I'm just pumping Jonathan Taylor into my lineup, and that is
I
what
like
it is.
Jonathan Taylor. I just think there's too much upside with Antonio Gibson to ignore. All right. Let's see. Oh, man. God, these things are lining up. All right, guys, we're going to try and do rapid fire in these, all right? Instead of explaining rapid fire, we're going to try and catch up so we can get out of here and make sure our lineups are okay. And you're welcome. A wrench, yep. Thank you once again. What'd you risk? Keeping Derrick Henry and Singletary in. He says yes. I'm still slightly on the no train, but he's convincing me otherwise. So if they don't play, it's all your fault, Adam. Does Freeman go off this week? Absolutely not. Jonathan Taylor and Antonio Gibson in the flex, full PPR. Antonio Gibson for me, Jonathan Taylor for him. Singletary Gallup. I like Gallup's upside, but Singletary's floor is probably a little bit higher than Gallup. So if you need to win this week, if you need points, you're projected to lose, go Gallup. If you are projected to win or be a close matchup, I would probably lean Singletary.
Yep.
All right. I have no idea who this is because we're doing rapid fire, but I don't like either one of those running backs.
Nope.
I think Coleman's out anyways, right?
Yes.
Raheem Mostert, Robert Woods, Jefferson, or Gibson. Oh, man. You guys are throwing the hard ones out at us today.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going Gibson. I think Gibson could be a top 7 running back this week. I think I have him at 6 right now.
Yep.
6 or 7.
I'd rank them Gibson, Woods, Jefferson, Mostert.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here so we can actually go play our fantasy leagues and go watch some football. Good luck to all you guys. We do this every single Sunday. Make sure you guys go check out our Linktree page and go follow us on the social media platforms. We're also on YouTube as well. So go search Fantasy Intervention on YouTube, but go to linktr.ee/fantasy intervention. Just go hit follow or go hit subscribe on whatever platform you listen to us on. If we do 6 shows a week on here, guys, 6 shows a week, including DFS shows. We pound them out, and we have big things happening behind the scenes right now. We're about to blow up. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for asking questions. And thank you guys for letting us intervene with your fantasy football life. We're out. Hey, Adam, stay on for a second.
Yep.